Watching the 2024 SCAC Fall Media Days. Today, we're taking a dive into the McMurry men's soccer program. The Warhawks will be led as they head into the season under the guidance of head coach Charles Nobles, along with leadership from senior midfielder Captain Trey Castillo. Coach Trey, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having us. We appreciate it.
Coach, we'll open up with you heading into this season, a bit of a transition year for you as you take over now the men's program there at McMurry, still coaching the women's program, of course, and having been a part of this soccer program, both the men's and the women's side for a number of years, assisting with the men in the past, but now officially taking over in that head coach capacity. Speak to a little bit of how that transition has gone early in this process. How much does just the familiarity with this team, having been a part of this program in the past, help with this transition, and ultimately just how excited you'd be back and getting ready for the start of a new season?
Yeah, it's extremely exciting to come in. And obviously when I got hired here in 2016, I had the opportunity to be on both sides, and a few times and in between this time I've gotten to do both. And I just have such a passion for both programs, and I want to see both programs succeed and see these young men and women succeed in all aspects of their life. And so when it was presented, it was just a huge opportunity, a huge honor, and I couldn't imagine not doing this. I don't know. It's just one of those things that, to say the excitement all summer I've just been looking forward to it, to do it. And so there's always going to be challenges and there's going to be things, but it's always about how we respond to it. And so that's just getting these guys, getting them to come in. The excitement level, the guys have been bought in from the very beginning. When we talked and introduced it to they just welcomed me in, and it's worse. Like I said, I know I say I'm excited, right? So I can't wait to get them on the field and playing games and seeing it. And there's a lot of talent in that locker room, and just a lot of really good men in there. So excited to be a part of them.
Trey, for you coming into your senior season, a captain within this program, and Coach talks a little bit about that transition, but I'm interested in your mindset coming into this camp. Obviously, a senior leader, as I mentioned, is there some urgency within yourself coming into this fall camp, and just ultimately, what makes preseason kind of that special time? What do you enjoy most about what maybe some look at as a difficult grinding time, but how do you find kind of that joy in the preseason moments?
I'm excited for the preseason. I was very excited when Coach Nobles called me and told me I was going to be a senior leader on this team, going to be a captain. But the thing we like most about the preseason is getting to know the guys, getting to know what kind of team we're going to be. Obviously we've been texting, been talking all over the summer, but just getting to know them in person, and just preparing for the season, seeing what we all have to offer, seeing what we can bring to the table. And yeah, we're excited for it.
Coach, we talked about your transitions. Of course, McMurry going through a big transition and a new era of McMurry men's soccer coming into the SCAC. Very excited to have the Warhawks on board and start this new journey, not only for your program, but for the conference as a whole. When you think about some of the challenges that the SCAC is going to present, what are some of those challenges? It's a league that you're familiar with, of course, have played a number of the schools in non-conference that'll now be shifting into those conference fixtures. What are you looking forward to most when it comes to these challenges, and how are you excited to tackle those going into the year?
Yeah, just to be invited to the SCAC conference and join it was, an amazing honor. It's such a prestigious conference, and all sports, right? And so to get that, and the historic institutions that are in it, to get to be a part of that, to travel and get to play them on a weekly basis when it matters, is awesome. And from a guys soccer perspective, it may be the toughest conference in the country. It very well might be the toughest conference in the country, and every game is going to be a match that anybody can win on any given day. And so just to see these guys competing against each other, and I think the SCAC, the soccer that they play, it's fun to watch. There's different styles, of course, throughout, but they really want to play an exciting, entertaining brand, although they're schools, and that's something that we want to do too. So joining in and being a part of it, and the challenges, and like I said, facing Colorado College, the Sweet 16, and Trinities and Southwesterns and TLUs and St. Thomas. The list goes on, because Centenary and all those, and then bringing Concordia and the Ozarks in, who are been great in our old conference. So I tell you, it's a challenge, but it's going to make us better, and that's the most exciting thing about it, because we're just going to keep improving every week with it. And iron sharpens iron, right? So playing great teams is just going to make us better and get to see our best potential coming out.
Trey, you're coming off a junior campaign in which you had nearly a career high in minutes, playing over 800 minutes last season, a career high in shots, tied for a career high in assists. You've come into this year, as you talked about, wanting to fill that leadership responsibility as well. But from just an individual perspective, as far as your game, what are some things that you've really been working on over the course of the summer, this offseason, leading up to camp, that kind of give you and grow your confidence coming into this senior season?
So I've worked on my fitness a lot. You mentioned career high in 800 minutes, but I still want to be available as many minutes as I can throughout the season. I know it's a long season. Injuries are part of the game. You never know what's going to happen on any given day. But another thing would be watching soccer. Watch the Euros, watch the Olympics, watch all kinds of soccer. I want to be able to understand the game so I can put not only myself but my teammates in great positions to succeed.
Coach, you talked a little bit about the different styles that the SCAC brings, for our fans and supporters of Warhawk men's soccer and people that may be seeing McMurry for some of the first couple of times, coming into this season. What's the best way to describe the style you want to see from your group? What are some things that, as I mentioned, those fans and supporters that they can really count on, that you hope, irregardless of result, will be consistent within your squad throughout the course of the season?
Yeah, definitely. I think a team's identity is it's who it is, and it's crucial. And it's what you can control, right? Like you said, you can't control all the results, you can't control a lot of things, but we can control what we're going to put on the field every time. So I've actually based it on the top of every one of my training plans. So I want to see it in every practice and first of all, I want to see us attack. We're going to try to score goals. We want to put pressure on teams. And so going that, we also want to see players make the game easy. Like we want to play simple soccer. We want to connect a lot of passes. We want to just making the game as easy as we possibly can. Then you're going to see an intensity from us. Every minute we always say we want to make it the longest 90 minutes of the other team's life for the season. So constantly put in that, but then we're going to be organized. That's a huge part of it is, if you can't break us down, if you have a tough time doing it, we can, 0 goals against is going to be a nice stat to have, right? And then finally, you're going to see a lot of unity. I mean, we talk about these guys being brothers and fighting for each other and doing that. And so, when your teammates got your back and you're playing for each other, you see that, and you see teams that play that way, it's really special. And that's where, as Trey kind of said, and the Euros and the Copa America and the Olympics, I mean, the teams that won, that's how they play. And you could tell the unity in the group. So that's hopefully what you'll see from us every weekend. That's how we'll, hopefully put on a show where people want to come watch us play.
Trey, wrapping up with you, as we've talked about this exciting year that's on the precipice for the Warhawks men's program and transitioning into the SCAC and you taking on those leadership roles, as you've had conversations with some of the other leaders within this group and some of your teammates about some of the goals and expectations coming into this new chapter of this soccer history there. What are some of those goals coming into this season? What have some of those conversations looked like, and ultimately what's going to be key in ordering and accomplishing those this year?
Well, we just want to take steps forward from last season and seasons prior. Since I was a freshman, I've been focused on trying to make the next season just better, trying to win more, trying to, and especially coming into a new conference, wanting to make playoffs, wanting to get in there. And, once you get in there, I mean, anybody can beat anybody. Those are crazy games. And that's ultimately the goal, is to make playoffs and to, play our best brand of soccer that we can.
Finally, Coach, as we wrap up with you, in our world, success can be defined certainly in so many different ways, so many different metrics. But when you speak about success, talk about success with your program, what is that message that you're trying to deliver? And ultimately, this season looks successful if what plays out on the field here in 2024 for this team?
Yeah. So, and that's a great question. And I love it because the wins and losses and stats, and everybody likes to focus on that. But to me, soccer is just an avenue. It's my mission field, I feel like. So it's where I've been called to do, and I just get to use soccer to teach about life. And so really, I want my players to have a great college experience. I mean, you only get one college experience, and I want them to have a great college experience. And winning helps, no doubt, but there's a lot more to it than just a win on a field. And the next thing is that they've learning skills while they're in college to go out when they leave here, and that they feel prepared to take on the world. And then finally, when they leave here, I want to see them make the world a better place. That's some of my granddad always said that's the goal of education, and I've carried that on so much. So if I feel like my players if we've done those three things, then that's success. And winning is going to happen as a byproduct of doing those things routinely right, all the time. And on the field this year, just how we'll kind of judge our success too is it's really what Trey said. Are we getting better each week? Are we growing? You know, we can't always control the results, but we want to be in the conference tournament. There's no doubt that's on the list of what we want to try to achieve and see it. But like I said, I want it when these guys leave this field this season that they know they've become better people, better players, and that they have friends for life, you know, a group of brothers that they just can't imagine not being with.
McMurry men's soccer program. Again, the Warhawks will be led as they head into the season. The guys' head coach Charles Nobles and leadership from senior captain, midfielder Trey Castillo. The Warhawks will open up the 2024 campaign when they take on Lyon on August 30th. Coach Trey, thanks so much for your time today and best of luck as you head into the year.
Thanks for having us.